Good evening. The Who's today were on at Wyong. It was an ATC, Australian Turf Club meeting, transferred to Wyong, whilst Randwick is still being renovated. And the track was good. A bit of rain there during the week, or on Sunday, wherever it was. And the rail was 4 metres out from the 1350 until the 210 metre mark, where the cutaway came into play, and it was 2 metres out the remainder. The track, there wasn't any savage bias, but up near the lead, there was one runner, Forever Crazy, I think it was. It came from back in the field, but most winners, there were a few winners that led, and won the same ground along the fence and into the cutaway. And a couple sat outside the lead. It was an advantage, I think, to be up near the lead. That's what happened in the first race, Greek Island. It went straight to the lead, ridden by brilliant Brendan Abdullah, and it led all the way, won by 3 lengths at the finish. And in this race, the captains, unfortunately, about losing figures. They said there was 103.3 on the screen, but we only got to 96 in the marketplace, and it was no good, although we got a result. But the winner was $14 taken at one stage into 12, and the runner starting favourite, Realms, it was $3.50 into $2.70 or 80, extremely well backed, but unfortunately it wasn't as good as it looked, for the simple reason, Clever Boy number 1, it didn't have a price. It went from $3.50 out to $7.50. It was to be ridden, if it jumped, to be ridden closer to the lead, but unfortunately it missed the kick. It jumped awkwardly and settled down in second last position, and that's where it finished up running, second last, beaten about 10.5 lengths. The winner was a fairly strong win. It's that second, Lord Juvain, and it finished up running third, and the runner sitting third on the fence, Courage, which hung out under pressure, copped a little bit of a pratt in the run, wouldn't have mattered. It went along the fence into second place, but as I say, beaten 3 lengths. The winner was by far the best run. The second race, they said there was 105.3 on the screen. Well, I only got to about 95 here, and this was another good result for the captains, I must admit, because this favourite, well, it didn't start favourite, but it opened up clear-cut favourite. I'm talking about Gold Epona. It drew the 1 alley, never went around a horse, sat 3 back on the fence. It opened up a 2-to-1 chance. 2 to 1 the field, we said, Gold Epona, but it never went around a horse, and it got out to, well, I think the SP is only $4, but you could have had $4.40 when they jumped. And it was a good result for the captains, because there were a few runners back in this race. Manzanet, number 2, at Killy for $8 and $7.50. Don't get me wrong, it was as much as $6.50 into $4.80. Oogie Sun, it finished up starting favourite. We put it up 7 to 2. It got to $5. Well, I bet $5. It only started $3.70 or $3.80 favourite. It led in the race, and to finish up running third, beaten 1.7, but it's a bit weak. Just Another. It would have been another good result for the captains. It went from $9 to $15. It sat behind the leader on the fence, and where it went around Oogie Sun after straightening. The winner, Gold Epona, tailing the second horse, Just Another, it went inside the leader, Oogie Sun, into the cutaway, and finished a bit too strong for Just Another, beating it by 0.4 of a length. Shades of Green, it was well backed, and it was wide with cover in the run, and it ran fourth. It was $16 into $10 or $11. Military Shrew, it was 16 out to 21 back in the 15, it's $17. And the bottom pair were 51 and 101. And as I say, the winner went along the fence, but it was easy in the marketplace, from $3 out to $4.40. Now we got to the third race, and they said there was 103 on the screen, top fluck, but in the marketplace, a skinny 95%. This race was for the 3-year-olds, and the winner, they took the shades, they took the hood off it today, Forever Crazy, and has settled down in second last position. A few very disappointing runs in this race. The flux in this race were Turnley, didn't have a price, $3 to $4.20, 2s to 13 to 4. Forever Crazy put up $4.40, 65, third pick, and well, equal third pick, and it got out to as much as $6. I gave $6 for a bit of section, and it started $5 hard to get. Rebel Dancer went up 2 to 1 favourite, got out to $3.70, back into $3.20. Dream Empress, it was a bit hard delayed, opened up at $4.60. It got out to $6 or even, $6 best. Emperor of Rome was 61 out to 71, back into 51. And the bottom one, Haiti Warrior, it was $15 into $8.50. It was extremely well backed, and unfortunately it bled. So that was the reason for its poor performance running last. The poor performances in this race, well, it went straight to, well, it couldn't cross. It tried to hold the fence all the way, Rebel Dancer, with Dream Empress a half a length in front of it, sitting on its outside, and getting the lovely suck behind the pair was Turnley, who just moved up on their outside, turning for home. Well, the race was over, but that wasn't the case, because coming from second last and coming wide on the turn and finishing very strongly down the outside was Forever Crazy, to grab victory on the line and beat Sir Burris, who slid along the fence, had to shove them out of the way when shouldering clear after turning for home, and it only failed by 0.4 of a length. Would have been a good result for the captains, although it was $16 out to 21, back into 16, but well backed. And Turnley held on for third. It was very disappointing. So was Rebel Dancer. The 1350 might have found it out, and so was Dream Empress. And Turnley, the winner was the best run there. Race 4, they said there was 109.8 on the screen, and hallelujah, we got positive figures in this race. But were they all liable? This favourite, for a start, now they said the best fluck, I think, was $4, like a bit of lippy, ridden by Killer Kath O'Hara. But I went up $4.60, got out to $4.80. I think I wound $4.80 off at one stage, only for a couple of minutes, but I was back to $4.80. I was $4.80 when they jumped, and it was returned $4. So there's 21 and 25. There's 4 and a bit percent, which you wouldn't see, and it had its chance. It sat second, or it sat second. It led 200 to 1 chance, Carnegie Royal, and Killer Kath looked at it, but then she got the lead for about the 8 or 1,000 metre mark. It held on fairly. It ran second. Eliza Blues, it was fluctuated between $7 and $6.50 most of the betting. Savage Blaze didn't have a price, went from $6.50 or $6 out to $7.50. Tunes, very well backed Tunes, got out $6.50 out to $7, back into 6 at one stage, back to $6.50. Now I See who missed a kick by 3 lengths. It was $6 out to $7. It started second favourite, about $5. Dal Rommel well backed, $8 into $6.50. I told you about Like a Bit of Libby. Hello Mister, it was 50 out to 61. $30 taken Blacker Street into 26, and $10 taken the Big IM into about $9.50. Just small firm after opening up $8, got out to 10, back into $9.50. Carnegie Royal was triple figure. It was 200 to 1. And it's at Tunes today. Well, after the 3 runs from a spell, of course, today was the first time it had the hood on. It had the hood on today. It's obviously switched it on, it raced up in third position, fourth position, and it got to second before the turn, looking at Killer Cat on the leader, and it was a bit too strong for it and beat it a length. Coming off its back was the Big IM. It ran third, beaten 2 lengths. And the winner also had another gear change. It had glue on shoes on today. Race 5, they said there was 110.8 on the screen, and before the 2 scratchings at the barrier, there were positive figures, and 2 races in a row. We had 103 here at top odds. Now, you wouldn't see it, and I don't know how it happened, well, how it didn't occur. Well, I do, really, I do. Plutorius, number 1, who pulled up lame, it finished up running last, beaten 15.1 lengths. They said the best luck was $4, 3 to 1 chance. Well, look, it went up $4.60, $4.40, got to $5 fairly quickly. Was taken at one stage into, but there was plenty of $5, plenty of 5. It did start only, well, it started $4.20 on my board. Shadow Me was $7.50 out to $8.50, back into $7.50. Beaveroo, $51 taken into 21. Now Lucano, extremely well backed, and here's a case how the track might have lent to leaders. Lucano improved out of sight today, and it was taken straight to the front. I bet $17 to lose 5,000 at one stage. It was extremely well backed. He's from about a $11 chance out there. I gave like a complete and utter fool $17. It only started $10, Lucano. I had a terrible result on it. Certifiable, well, it was labelled at one stage at $6.50 after opening at $5.50, but they only started about it started $6.50 on my board before the 2 scratchings. Rhetoric, it was about a $9 out to 11. Volta was 26 out to 51. Now the next pair would scratch the barrier. I've scratched it out. Tresmo, I think his name is. It was 21 out to 26, and Blurred Vision, it was $26 at the time, and Ferrocimo, well, it was $3.60 when the scratching occurred. After $3.90 had been bet, and it didn't get an easy run like it did their last start. And last rain was 200 to 1, and Rembetica was 40s into $26 back out to 31. We had about 103 before the 2 scratches were taken out, which were about 8% of the market. And Lucano, as I say, it went straight to the front with Shadow Me looking at it. It ran second, it sat second, and sitting third on the fence was Ferrocino, and it finished up running third. They were first, second, and third. They were in that order coming around the turn. The 3 of them having every possible chance. Ferrocino was very disappointing. The winner finished up winning by 2.8 lengths. It fooled me. I thought there could have been a little bit of pressure in this race up front, and which would have taken care of Lucano, but it went straight to the lead and ran along at a solid pace, and got away from him after straightening. A good win. Race 6, they said there was 104.8 on the screen, but I only counted 93% here. You wouldn't have seen it, but the favourite Narcissus, by the way, this was a huge result for the captains, a huge result. This was a result. Narcissus, we put it up 6 to 4, 6 to 4 the field. We got it out to $3.20. You wouldn't have seen it, but it only started. Well, it started $2.70 on my board, and they returned at $2.50. At one stage, it wasn't at $2.60. I got it back to $2.60 or $2.70. Might have even been $2.80. The next run of Dragon's Keep drew perfectly. It was the undoing of the second place getter LK Star. It drew barrier 11, ridden by Jenny Duggan. Whatever it came, yes, it had barrier 11 in a field of. It drew the outside alley, and it was able to come across and lead. And it was $21 out to 31. It didn't have a price. It was a good result for the captains again. Now Zara Yangri, look, I've got a funny feeling the best luck might have only been $9. Well, started $13 on my board, and there was plenty of 13 when during the betting, so I don't know what happened there. Dundee was 20 out to 41. LK Star, now it fluctuated. We put it up $3 second pick. 2 to 1 bar it, 2 to 1 bar it, we said. And it got out to as much as 370 at one stage, back into 330, but it started 350, 5 to 2 second pick. Magic Guy didn't have a price. It went from 21 out to 51. Ralio, it was back from, we opened up 15 or 13, 14, got out to as much as $17. I was 19 when they jumped. Megalaya, very well back, $15 into $9 Megalaya. I might have been 10 when they jumped. On, 20 out to 30, back into 26. Bounding along, $20 into 15 at one stage. Later 16, started $19, and it was 50 out to 80, back into 60. Henny's last. Few runners back in that race. And the captains got the result. It went straight to the lead, Drag and Keep. Sitting on its outside was Megalaya. Trap 3 wide was Dundee. Back in the field along the fence and got held up slightly, turning for home in an awkward position was LK Star. With a little bit of luck, if it would have all drawn wide, it would have won. And the favourite, Narcissus, well, it sat on the outside of LK Star in the run and was hooked out into a good position, turning for home around the weakening Dundee. Sprinted up fairly quickly, but Narcissus couldn't come on. It was the 3-year-old in racing. Well, there were 2 3-year-olds in this race. Narcissus and the bottom one, Henny's Lass, racing against the older horses. And the old 6-year-old Dragon's Keep showed the turn of foot which it has. It sped across and led all the way. Emphasising again that up near the lead most probably was an advantage. And then we came to the last, but it didn't help the favourite in the last, City of Light, who led. It finished up running about 6th position, only beaten 1.7, but a bit disappointing. It led, and sitting on its outside after doing a bit of work to get outside the leader was Dream Choice. And it was clearly headed by the second horse when they turned for home, who came off its back, Fireball. Fireball's number was in the frame after they turned for home, but it kept on fighting and unfortunately got the bob in. Dream Choice was well back. One of the pros had a very large plate here of Dream Choice, even though it only started $20, $21, hard to get. He had a large plate of the $26 with every captain on the course, and it got the chocolates for him. Now, going back to the percentages, they said there was 106.6 on the screen, but only 99 in the marketplace. A quick run down to the flux. It went from 5 to 4, $2.25 City of Light out to $3, back into $2.60. I think I was $2.80 when they jumped. Fireball, as much as $8 given, into $5.50 at one stage. Back out to $6 at the finish. Dream Choice, 15 out to 26 to 21, hard to get. Wish Win, 16 out to 19, back to one stage into 16, back to 19. Persian Storm, 13 out to, or $12 out to 15, back into about 12. Iking, who missed a kick, $15 out to $17, back into about $11 or $12, well back. Youthful King was liable at $21 firm. Our girl Charlize didn't have a price, 21 out to 31. Mottled, well, it opened up $8.50 and was into $6.50 at one stage, started 7 on my board. Czar Melody didn't have a price, 50 out to $301. That's cricket. Or the next runner, Moss Money, $8 out to $10, taken at one stage in a 9, but back to 10, and that's cricket, or even 11 Moss Money, and that's cricket. 26 out to 51, didn't have a price. And as I say, the winner was the best run. Well, yes, I did a bit of work to get outside the lead, and coming off its back was Fireball, emphasising again that up near the lead, they sat second and third, one out, one back, the second horse. And along the fence, Persian Storm was sitting 4th, and it finished up running in 5th position, beaten under 2 lengths, 1.6. But as I say, when they got down the line, it looked like Fireball was going to win, but unfortunately it was a head-up, head-down photo finish, and Fireball's head was up, and the Dream Choice for one of the pros, it was down, and that was the difference. The old bob of the head. The bob of the heads go your way all the time. If you're a bookie, you're sweet, you'll finish up rich. And if you're a punter, if the bobs go your way, you'll finish up sweet. But if they go the wrong way for you all the time, it'll drive you absolutely bananas. That was about the meeting. As I say, it was there were no real hard luck stories and no runners that you'd be saying that you definitely want to be backing next start. It was that sort of meeting. And as I say, it was the meeting was held at Wyong, but it was an Australian Turf Club meeting. And our next meeting, there's no provincials on tomorrow. The provincials are on at Gosford on Friday, and we have Rose Hill on Saturday. So I'll see if I might say a few words after Gosford on Friday night, because it'll be a late finish there. We'll see what the situation is. Hope you had some luck. Good evening.